And I want to open this question to Morocco to let us know how we can unlock and make sure that our young people, in line with this, do not have the barriers that exist to enable them to also get into the decision-making places, but to also enable them to navigate the spaces where they can drive Africa's green growth agenda. And in line with Africa's most important resource, the young people, I want to open the next question to Morocco, Sad.
How can we mobilize international resources and support to address the increased vulnerabilities in our continent and empower our young and local communities?
I invite His Excellency to respond to the question.
Thank you very much for that question. I will answer it in two ways. Number one is the realization that we are a young continent. And I like what the president of the African Development Bank has said. Investing in our shareholders. The largest shareholders of Africa is the young people. What must we do? We must continuously invest in the young people, number one, in their education. In Kenya, for example, this year, we had the largest budget, 630 billion Kenya shillings, the largest since independence, to fund our education. Because that creates people, that creates a young people in Kenya who have the requisite knowledge, who can articulate their issues, who can drive their growth. That's number one. Making sure that they are skilled. This year, we doubled the budget for our TVETs, for our technical and evaluation. We doubled the budget almost, maybe, we actually increased by 70% for our universities. Again, to invest in our young people so that they are ready to tackle the challenges of the future. And number three, what Adesina said, investing and believing in young people, not looking at them as part of the problem, but looking at them as part of the solution, not looking at them as risky, not looking at them with the eyes of they don't have collateral. It is the reason we are going to invest. We've already started the journey. We've invested the first 15 billion. We have another 10 billion this year that we are investing in making sure that young people have access to credit. The Hustler Fund in Kenya, 67% of the borrowers on the Hustler Fund are below the age of 35. The Hustler Fund today has lent 35 billion. And I saw one of the newspapers say the other day that the government, that 3 billion has not been paid. That is true. But 3 billion out of 35 billion lent, I would take another risk with the young people of Kenya. I would do it again. I would do it again. Because slowly we are turning the corner. The Hustler Fund today does not need any collateral. You don't have to know nobody. You don't have to know your village head, or you don't have to have a fat relative or a tall friend. You just need a phone and yourself. And I have kept on saying, you need a committee of two, your phone and yourself, and you have access to some measure of credit. We're scaling it up now by another 10 billion shillings, and it speaks to what Adesina was saying, investing in the ideas of our young people, investing in and believing in the young people of Kenya, as we do of the young people of this globe. And to go to the question my good friend has said from Morocco, where are we taking this into the global stage? What financing are we looking for? It is the reason why we are saying today our debt as a continent is in the region of $700 billion. We are paying every year about $70 billion in terms of servicing interest and servicing debt. Many countries are going down the route of debt distress. Already, 9 countries in Africa are down the cliff. 13 are classified as high risk. Another 17 are classified as moderate risk. Debt distress is a big juggernaut that is threatening the future of our continent and the future of our development and prosperity. Number 2, we need to think about new and design, let me say, design new financing instruments. And I'm very happy that the young people in this Africa Youth Summit 2023 have said we need a green bank where more voices, more, those of us who are not represented in the current multilateral development banks, we are not represented at the moment, where we will be represented, where we will have a voice, where the young people of our continent, the greatest stakeholders of our continent, will have a voice. That is where we need to take this. We need to reform the current multilateral development banks, and we need to redesign a new green bank that makes sure that we have resources that not only fund our growth and green development, but it is done so fairly, it is done so with speed, and it is done so with affordable interest. In fact, I dare say, like we say in Kenya, Mambo ni Matatu. Number 1, it must be with speed. It takes inordinate time to access credit. Number 2, it must be at scale. Sometimes you get little monies here and there that cannot make any meaning. And number 3, it must be affordable. So it must be, number 1, it must be with speed, it must be at scale, and it must be affordable. Mambo ni Matatu.
Yeah. Thank you, Your Excellency. And I would like to unlock on the risk component as well.
Yeah, let me say that your president represents Africa so well on the global scale. If you listen to him in Paris, we're there together in Paris, where we are talking about the need to reform the global financial architecture. It's not just, you can have a seat around the table. It's not your seat around the table that matters. It's your voice. It's the fact that your voice is respected, your perspectives are taken